After helping over 200 high-performing professionals eliminate alcohol with a 98% success rate, I discovered why intelligent people stay trapped the longest. They try and think their way out of a neurochemical problem. Here's how Sarah, a Cambridge-educated bank director managing £50 million portfolios, achieved 100 days of complete control by using her intelligence for transformation instead of against it. And why the smarter you are, the more you need the systematic approach. But before I show you Sarah's exact transformation timeline, you need to understand the research that explains why intelligent people struggle the most with alcohol, and why your intelligence might be your biggest obstacle. What Sarah told me after her transformation will change how you think about smart people and alcohol forever. Here's the intelligence trap that's costing high achievers years and years of their lives. Dr. Robert Skalpolsky's Stanford research discovered that intelligent, high-achieving individuals actually have a harder time at breaking ingrained behavioral patterns because their prefrontal cortex, the analytical brain, tries to override neurochemical changes through logic. This creates what I call the intelligence trap. The smarter you are, the more you believe that you should be able to think your way out of a biochemical problem. Research shows that people with a higher IQ spend 40% more time analyzing problems instead of implementing solutions. And here's why every other approach to alcohol keeps intelligent people trapped. First, we've got therapy. Costs $200 an hour. You analyze your feelings while your dopamine receptors continue to deteriorate. Smart people spend months and months and months talking about patterns instead of changing their neurochemistry. And then we've got willpower programs. It's using the same analytical brain that's causing the problem to solve the problem. It's like asking a broken computer to start debugging itself. And then we've got the moderation apps. They keep alcohol mentally relevant. And that's actually strengthening the neural pathways that create cravings in the first place. It's like asking a diabetic to moderate their sugar while tracking every gram. And AA, it forces intelligent people to admit that they're powerless and they're a victim of this disease. And essentially, that's just career suicide for executives. My systematic approach achieves a 98% success because we target the neurochemical causes while using your intelligence strategically and not chaotically. All right, here's the complete 4-control method that completely eliminates the intelligence trap. First, we've got the mental control, the analysis elimination protocol. I should be able to handle this programming that keeps you trapped in research loops. No more spreadsheets, no more pattern analysis, no perfect plans, just a binary decision to eliminate alcohol completely for 100 days minimum. We also look at your conditioning around alcohol. Alcohol helps me relax, it helps me be more social. Our actions follow our beliefs, so we use first principles thinking to examine these beliefs and update them on current science and investigation, and not the ones from the 80s that found that a glass of wine a day is healthy for us. Unsurprisingly, that investigation was funded by a big alcohol company. What a shocker. And then we've got the physical control, the neurochemical reset system. We reset your brain chemistry so that your body stops craving alcohol regardless of your stress levels. This happens within 72 hours using a systematic dopamine restoration, not willpower. Then we've got the social control. We prepare you for client dinners, industry events, so your intelligence can focus on business and not managing your alcohol cravings. We look at specific scripts for different situations, confident responses, no awkwardness of being the weird one who's not drinking. Then we have the emotional control, the real-time support protocol. When you face work pressures or family stress, you get immediate tactical support. No more trying to figure it out alone, using the same brain patterns that created the problem in the first place. Now, this isn't therapy, it's not recovery, and it's not willpower. It's systematic optimization that's designed for high-performing brains. Now, let's go back to Sarah. Her starting point, she was a senior director at a major investment bank, 2 Cambridge degrees, managing £50 million portfolios, post-divorce with 2 teenagers. Every morning she had brain fog until about 10 a.m. And every evening she had that automatic wine ritual that she just couldn't control despite her intelligence. So within 72 hours, Sarah stopped drinking, not because she analyzed it better, but because she had a system that completely eliminated her desire to drink. She said that it felt as if a switch had flipped in her brain. And then in the first 30 days, we focused on physical control. Her results were incredible. She had a full neurochemical reset. She said that she was sharper in the meetings, her brain fog was gone, she was processing information faster, she was making connections with the work that she would have missed before, and her symptoms of the menopause were much more reduced and much more manageable. And then in the next 30 days, we focused on the social control. So we focused on specific scripts so that she could tell people she wasn't drinking without oversharing, and how to manage those different networking events just without the booze. She said by the end of it, she was networking like a pro. She felt more confident than ever without a drink in her hand. And then the next stage, we focused on the emotional control. And we used specific tools and strategies for her to manage her stress and anxiety much better. And also, she noticed that the physical reset had a big impact on her stress levels. Most people are surprised when they stop drinking, their stress levels reduced by 50 to 80% per person. Obviously, that's very subjective. But then when we're left with the remaining stress levels, we can focus on that directly. And by the end of the 100 days, Sarah specifically said, alcohol is irrelevant to my life. It's just a non-issue. And that is when you know that you have full control over alcohol. Here's what Sarah told me that absolutely revolutionized my approach with working with high-achieving professionals. She said, Emma, you didn't let me overthink it. You gave me a simple system, you told me to follow it, and that's exactly what I needed. Before, she was stuck in the intelligence trap, overthinking every scenario, thinking about this, if I do this, will that compensate my drinking? She was using her intelligence to stop taking action and just overthink and get into that analysis paralysis. And this is why my systematic approach works for 98% of professionals, while traditional programs that rely on education and willpower achieve less than 15%. Now, intelligence is an incredible asset, but only when it's applied to the right problem. Sarah needed to use her intelligence to follow a proven system and not use it to overthink and get tangled in a web. The smartest thing that you can do is to recognize when to stop being smart about the wrong things and start being systematic about the right things. Now, you might be wondering, how can I access the same approach that transformed Sarah's life? Well, I've created a free training called How to Get Control Over Alcohol that shows you the exact 4-step formula that Sarah followed to go from daily drinking to having full control over alcohol for over a year now. And this is the same systematic approach that's helped over 200 professionals stop fighting their intelligence and start using it for their transformation instead of against it. Now, this isn't just some theory, it's been proven to work, and it's the 4 control method. We look at the mental control, physical control, social control, emotional control. Click the link below to access the training. And here's the biggest thing that I learned from Sarah. Every day that you spend analyzing, thinking, instead of implementing, is another day that you're using your greatest asset, your intelligence, to keep yourself stuck in a cycle. Sarah stopped trying to be smarter than the problem, and she started being smart about the solution. The question is, are you ready to do the same? The free training is linked below. Stop overthinking it and proving how smart you are. Watch the video, follow the steps, get full control over alcohol.